What?
I clicked on the go live button a little.
Oh, are we live?
We're live now. All righty, folks.
We're live. I'm still typing. Okay. All right. Here we go. Okay. We can save those changes. Okay. All right. So we're live. We're live with Dan. Whoops, my phone's slightly in the camera there. Okay. And then we're going to go live on
Facebook and TikTok.
Live
We're
on TikTok.
Live on YouTube and TikTok. Yes.
Hi, TikTokers, YouTubers, Facebook people. Kat Howard here with Windermere in Woodinville, and joined with Dan Mellis with Nexa Mortgage. And we're going to talk all things real estate and lending. And we're going to start off with my new listing that just went pending 3 days after it came on the market. And then we're also going to talk statistics for Snohomish, King, Mason, Pierce, Skagit, and Kitsap counties, with the emphasis being on King and Snohomish counties. So, all right. What do you think, Dan?
All righty. Well, what I think is I need to figure out how to put this video up on the screen here. Hang on just a second. We're getting there. Okay, there we go. You ready?
Yeah.
Dan, this video was apropos. Talk about a grand slam. Let's go to it.
Oops, it's got no volume. Can you hear the volume, Dan?
Uh-oh.
It's no volume. I think we've done this before. I think we can't get volume when we play videos.
Did you say no audio?
I can't hear anything.
Doggone it. Well, I'll tell you what. Let's talk about this. Let's talk about your listing. I don't want to put the video up.
Okay, so yep. So we put this one on the market. What was it? The last week of February on Thursday, and we ended up holding it open. I held an open house on Friday evening from 4 to 6 p.m. Had about 5 or 6 people through, and then we held it open Saturday morning from 10 to 12. I had about 8 more groups through, and that evening, one of the buyers wanted to have an inspection done, and they submitted their offer on Saturday. And so we had one offer on Saturday, and that one wasn't spectacular. It was good. So we got a second offer on Sunday morning, and they had their inspection the day before on Saturday. And essentially they came in significantly over asking price, waived the inspection. As a matter of fact, waived everything. And so we did decide to go ahead and take that offer. We did not set an offer review date, but we did have 2 more inspections scheduled, with one of the buyers being cash. So we knew that the buyer that was having their inspection on Monday would be a cash buyer. So we knew that that probably would be a very good offer, but we opted to take the one that we got on Sunday when they increased our amount over asking significantly.
What? I have to ask, was it a bully offer?
Well, it's, you could call it, it's a compelling offer for sure. So I call them bully offers. And when I pull statistics, what looks like a really good bully offer right now is 10% over. So that's, you can take that for what it's worth. But that's, if you really want to get a piece of property under contract and you want the seller to take it off the market, you want to offer them at least 10%, and you want to waive just about everything. If you're my buyer, you're not waiving financing. If you're financed, you're not going to waive your inspection unless we've got an inspection in hand. Either you've had one or the seller's had one. So we're not waiving those things, right? We're not giving the seller a non-refundable earnest money deposit. We're not doing that. So, you guys are working with me. We're not throwing caution to the wind. However, when I represent a seller and you guys want to do that, I'm not saying no. But I still think it's in the buyer's best interest to always have their own inspection. In this case, both buyers that came to the table the first couple of days on the market did, in fact, have their own inspections, and they moved forward and waived their inspection in the negotiation process, which I appreciated. So the buyer number 2 was well qualified and illustrated that they had the means to make that happen very quickly. We've already had the appraisal, and there are no issues. Let's put it that way. So we're looking forward to a speedy close.
Well, congratulations! That's awesome news.
Yes. So what do you think, Dan? Should we move right along into the stats?
Let's move right into the stats. You want to start with King?
Let's start with King County.
Let's start with big King County, the king of counties, King County.
Yes. So 60% of sellers in King County got under contract within the first 7 days on the market if they listed their home between February 16th and February 22nd. So that's a pretty good first 7 days, right, guys? The market is hotter than it's been for a while. So probably in a year. 68% of sellers got under contract within the first 14 days on the market if they listed their home between February 2nd and February 15th. 59% of sellers set offer review dates in King County last week. 54% of homes that closed in February closed over asking price. So it's over half sold for more than asking price.
Wow.
And King County has just 1.0 month supply of inventory, and that is one of the lowest numbers in the last year. So a pretty good place to be since last spring. That's the lowest it's been. So yeah, King County rocking and rolling. Good time to be on the market. We got a couple months of that left. So March and April are going to be your best times to be on the market when it's going to be the hottest. Things could slow down as we get towards May and June. So just so you guys know. The market is a bell shape, right? It goes up in January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December, and then we start doing this again, back up again, January, February. So January data, when I'm playing data, January is reflective of December. That's almost always going to be the lowest point for the year.
Right.
So, and then usually because we have appreciation just about every single year, the next December data is going to be higher than the previous December data, right? So December 2025 is going to be above December 2024 more than likely, unless we have a declining market. So if we have an appreciating market overall, we're going to see that number higher each year. And so we will, in King County, we get an average of 16% between January and May in appreciation, which is kind of batshit crazy if you think about it. And then it evens off in the summer, and then it comes back down. So last year we had about 8% in King County in appreciation. So of that, whatever, I can't remember what it was specifically last year that the market went up between January and June, but it was significant. And it did come back down to about 8% over where we started the year at. So
cool.
Yeah, so that's kind of how the market cycle normally works. So it's an interesting cycle. I always try to tell people, it's a good idea to time the market if you can. If you're buying and selling in the same market, then don't worry about it. You just have to be prepared to be on the market longer if you're outside that February, March, April timeframe. So just plan on being on the market longer. Right. So anyway, so you want to move on to Snohomish?
Sure. Speaking of Snohomish, here we are. Look at it. So
I just want to tell a quick story. I did have a conversation with the seller today. They've got a beautiful home in, I'll just say it, Wellington, Washington. They really don't have any specific plans. So I think the goal at the end of the day will be to downsize and maybe pick up a Rambler. Kind of similar to what my goals would be. if and when I decide to downsize, I'll be looking for a Rambler. Somewhere that's close in and, in a cute town. I won't say which town, but it's in a cute town, not far from where we're at now. And so I'm just waiting to hear back from them to see, if I kind of spoke with them about the typical market cycle and how we're in kind of the hot market right now. And, going forward in a couple of months, we're not going to really know what that looks like. And there is no guarantee next spring we'll do exactly the same thing. But we do have historical cycles that do tend to be true every year. So anyway, so it's fun talking to them about their potential plans, but they really need to get more specific before they can, figure out what the next step is. But hopefully I'm able to help them a little in helping them figure that out. So anyway, so then Snohomish County, let's talk Snohomish County, right, Dan?
Yeah, let's talk Snohomish. It's looking pretty close to King. Maybe
pretty
not.
Good. It's a little hotter in King,
A little hotter in King, yeah.
Snohomish goes further north. King County does include downtown Seattle, which is a little less hot market. Also includes the South End, which is also not usually quite as hot a market. So Bellevue, Kirkland, Redmond, Woodinville, Bothell have hotter markets than what it looks like in the King County stats. And kind of similarly speaking, Mill Creek, Bothell, South Snohomish, even Everett, Mukilteo, those have hotter markets than the overall.
I've got to ask. They should divide up King County data by East Side and Seattle.
So there is that data, and I could pull that data, but it does shrink your size of your data pool. But we do have enough data to do that.
Oh, you do? Oh, okay. Yeah, that's good to know.
So we could do that, Dan. I could split that into East Side. I'm sorry, I gotta plug in.
Oh, okay, no problem.
I'm plugging in, guys. I ran myself right out of juice. Sorry about that.
That's okay. No, I was just thinking that
East Side is different than Seattle proper, and it's different than the South End as well. Yeah. And it's a fair request. And I used to do just kind of North King and South Snohomish, but then it wasn't exactly the same map every time. So it just felt like it wasn't as comparable week over week. So I was trying to make it where it was more consistent. But we can definitely create an East Side data set. And I think that would be more meaningful for those of us in Woodinville, South Snohomish, in Kirkland, Redmond, Bellevue areas.
Well, I hate to say it, but Seattle's a little bit of an anchor when it comes to the Seattle side and the east side. The east side seems to outperform.
It does. East side, it has for a couple of years. East side's been outperforming the Seattle market by quite a bit. So for a long time during COVID, people were trying to move out, and so that really stimulated the market in Snohomish County a lot, as well as Skagit and Whatcom, and then even Kitsap and over across the water over there. A few of the counties over there experienced a little bit of a boom in Eastern Washington as well, as people were trying to move out and they were able to work from home more. So, but we're seeing a little bit of a pulling back in right now. There's a lot of unhappy people that are going back to the office and they don't really want to, and that's and they're having to deal with some longer commute times than maybe they really they wanted to sign up for.
Right. So, right.
But
the Snohomish numbers look pretty strong, though. They do look very solid.
Yeah. So 52% of sellers in Snohomish County got under contract within the first 5 days. Within the first 7 days on the market, if they listed their home between February 16th and February 22nd. 58% of sellers got under contract within the first 14 days on the market if they listed their house between February 2nd and February 15th. 41% of sellers set offer review dates.
Bully for them.
Yep. So those numbers are going up. The offer review date numbers are increasing, and they probably should. We've got in Snohomish County, I think we've got 40% of sellers are getting multiple offers. And so in King County, it's 44% are getting multiple offers in the month of February. So I think 59% of sellers in King County are setting offer review dates. So that's a little high for what's actually going on out there. But I think overall it's okay. So what do we got?
45%.
Yeah, 45% of sellers got over asking price in Snohomish County for the month of February for closed sales. And Snohomish County is at 0.9 months supply of inventory. So that's near the low for the year so far. Our low was 0.8, I believe, a couple weeks ago. So anyway, that's Snohomish County.
Kat, I got to tell you one thing. I should never be doing these live streams the day after I've watched Best in Show the night before.
Why?
Have you ever seen that movie Best in Show? It's with Fred Willard, and he plays this goofy announcer at the dog show. Yes, he makes every inane comment you could possibly come up with. It's quite funny.
So you're comparing yourself to him. Is what you're saying.
Well, I think a little bit of it rubbed off. I'm making a bunch of inane comments on our live stream today, and I blame Fred Willard for all of it. So that's all I can tell you.
Okay.
Anyway, never mind. We'll move along to Pierce County.
I was gonna see if anybody. Hey, you guys, ask me questions. Real estate related questions. Ask Dan about lending. So if you guys are kind of curious about anything, let me know, because I'd be happy to kind of fill you in and answer the best I can. So just looking really quick through my people to see if anybody did have any questions, but I don't see anything. So okay, so we got Pierce County. 46% of sellers in Pierce County got under contract within the first 7 days on the market if they listed their home between January 16th and January 22nd. 52% of sellers got under contract within the first 14 days on the market if they listed their home between January 2nd and February 2nd and February 15th. 24% of sellers in Pierce County set offer review dates. 40% of homes in February sold over asking price in Pierce County for the month of February, closed sales. And Pierce County is down to 1.0 month supply of inventory. That is a sharp.
Wow, that's a sharp decline.
Pierce County is now on the same playing field as King and Snohomish as far as month supply of inventory goes. So their data may start to look better going forward. And they've had a bit softer market, so it'll be interesting to see that going forward. So what do you think? Should we do Mason?
Let's do Mason. I vote for Mason too.
I have a friend coming up to visit me this weekend from Mason County. She lives in Great View. I helped her buy that house a couple of years ago. It's got a great water view. We got a steal of a deal on it. And she's pretty happy. Plus, she's no longer in Arizona, and she's just grooving on Western Washington weather. And I'm not joking. Like, she loves it here. So anyway, she's coming up for a little visit. We're going to go to Flower World.
Nice.
So,
that sounds good.
That. So Mason County, yeah. So Mason County, 50%. So this is Mason County's market also is picking up. 50% of sellers got under contract within the first 7 days on the market if they listed their home between February 16th and February 22nd. 31% of sellers got under contract within the first 2 weeks on the market if they listed their home between February 2nd and February 15th. Nobody set an offer review date, which should be expected in Mason County. But you guys, if you have those special properties, start getting ready to set an offer review date. So if you're waterfront, water view, a spectacular rambler, got some flat usable property, then you might want to consider setting an offer review date in Mason County. 30% of homes that sold in Mason County sold over asking price. And Mason County is down steeply, down sharply to 1.6 months supply of inventory. They have been ranging between 2 and 3 months supply for the last year, and they are down now to almost 1.5 months, so that 1.6 months supply of inventory. So their market is, they're chewing up some inventory, and they've got some active buyers out there.
That's a big deal for Mason County.
It really is. Mason County market's shaping up nicely right now. Yeah. Yeah.
Let's see. You want to move to Skagit or Kitsap?
Skagit.
Here we are.
So Skagit County, 47% of sellers got under contract within the first 7 days on the market if they listed their home between February 16th and February 22nd. 46% of sellers got under contract within the first 2 weeks on the market if they listed their home between February 2nd and February 15th. 26% of sellers in Skagit County did set offer review dates last week. 26% of homes in Skagit County sold over asking price for the month of February for closed sales. And Skagit County also inventory steeply down. It's down to 1.1 month supply of inventory in Skagit County. So again, really getting close to the low levels in Snohomish and King County. So they are also looking to have a much more aggressive market, much more sellers market going forward if those numbers hold. So Skagit County looking up, better get ready to start setting those offer review dates going forward if you have that special property. It's really well prepared for the market. It's priced well, and it has some special thing. It's got a fantastic view. It has like a superb location. The lay of the land is amazing. Something like that, a fabulous rambler with high ceilings, things like that. So, and then you're poised to be able to set an offer review date, and hopefully the buyers will be amenable in Skagit County to that.
Oh, that leaves us with Kitsap.
Yeah. Okay, we ready for Kitsap, guys?
Paradise on earth, Kitsap County.
So 54% of sellers got under contract within the first 7 days on the market if they listed their home between February 16th and February 22nd. 53% of sellers got under contract within the first 14 days on the market if they listed their home between February 2nd and February 15th. 25% of sellers set offer review dates in Kitsap County last week. 32% of homes sold over asking price in February for closed sales in Kitsap County last month. And Kitsap County is staying the same, and they're remaining at 1.2 months supply of inventory. So they have not been chewing up inventory like some of the other counties in Western Washington, but they still have a really good sellers market with 54% of sellers getting under contract within the first 7 days on the market. That's a really strong market. So they're doing very well. Yeah, very strong. So yeah, their market's hanging in there really, really nicely. So anyway, what else do you want to talk about, Dan?
Well, I got one thing on the docket. One thing.
What is it?
It is pretty cool.
You said if we waited till Friday, you would bring it.
Yes, and I am bringing it. Here we go. But we've got today we have the jobs report, right? And so we had 151,000 jobs created in February. It was a little bit lighter than what we were estimating at 160 to 170,000. So that's a little bit weaker.
Okay. So weaker job market.
Weaker job market. January was revised lower by 18,000, but December was revised higher by 16,000. So take those 2 months revisions. It was 2,000 jobs lower. No big deal. However, he said, yeah, it's kind of a wash. It's no big deal. But what was a big deal in my mind, at least, is they have this model that they use within the jobs report, and it's called the birth-death model. Okay.
I've heard you talk about that before.
Yes, it's the bane of people's existence when they're looking at jobs reports because it's unpredictable and it's unreliable and it's really a lousy model. But anyway, it's at the root cause of all the downward revisions by the BLS in the last year, and there have been massive downward revisions, right? So they overestimate jobs, right? So what the birth-death model does, it's not the birth and death of people, it's the birth and death of small businesses, basically, or the birth and death of businesses, but it's mostly for small business. Anyway, according to this model, there were 151,000 total jobs created in February. 136,000 of those jobs were created by the birth-death model. So if you take out the birth-death model, which is sketchy, that leaves you with 15,000.
Talking about the creation of businesses and the loss of businesses.
That's correct. That's right. And the thing is,
it's not really a great indicator as to employment numbers of what you're saying.
It's terrible. It's at the heart.
So I'm catching on.
Yes, it's at the heart of all a lot of the major problems why we've had downward revisions in the jobs numbers consistently. And I'm not, it's not a one-time shot. It's like consistently we're getting
Right.
these downward revisions. You've heard me talk about the QCEW reports before, and they were just epically bad. And so here, the birth death model, they're showing that it added 136,000 jobs. Thing is, the same 2 days ago with the ADP report. And so ADP is the private estimator of private jobs, right? So it's a separate report. They were showing in the same category negative jobs created, like job losses in that category. The same category the birth death model says added 136. Very, very questionable. Okay.
Yeah.
And then you go down. There's two reports. So you got the employer reports, basically, right? They call it the establishment reports, and then you've got the household survey. Okay, and get this: the household survey was showing 588,000 job losses. 588,000.
Okay. Right. So that's where you're having trouble with the birth death model of businesses, is because actually what's really happening is we have people reporting that they're losing their jobs, which makes sense when you have Trump and Elon Musk eliminating departments and letting go huge. No,
they're not even counting those jobs at this point.
Okay. What do I know? I'm just a real estate broker.
Yeah, no, they're not even counting those jobs at this point. So yes, all that's going on, and in addition to all that, and all that part is not even being counted right now. Right?
Okay.
So it was.
Who is being counted? You're talking. I mean, if that's not being reported,
the normal stuff. The normal surveys that
regular
go out. Regular layoffs, regular job, regular companies. Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah. No,
big companies. Yeah. Not talking about government employees.
Well, it does cover government employees, but it's not covering those employees in this report. Those will be coming up. Okay, they'll be coming up.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
So basically, I'm just saying, very weak report. Initially, the bond market took that as a positive. We saw rates improving, and then later on in the day, they got worse. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
Come Monday. But it was an interesting report. And then following up that report, I'm just mentioning this because we have the Consumer Price Index coming out next Wednesday. And if you look at the major components of CPI, weak, very, very positive, a very positive situation for inflation. I think we're going to get a decent CPI report. So you're going to have.
So inflation, you think, is going to tick down?
Well, I think the bond market is going to respond positively to the CPI report. And I think if you take it in combination with the employment report, I think you might, what you've seen was up until Tuesday, rates had come down, almost every single day, right? They were coming down. Went from that. It was down about 70 basis points in 6 weeks. Yeah. Okay.
I've got a client who's refinancing.
Yeah, it's depending on where
getting close.
It's getting close. That's right. And so we're getting very close because I've got some clients that are closely watching this market.
On those sidelines watching those rates.
Yes, that's right. I was talking with one of our clients here about a week and a half ago. So we're going to touch base again middle of next week. But it's an interesting time, and I think if we do get this favorable CPI report, you're going to see a continuation of lower rates. So we'll see. We'll keep our fingers crossed. We'll hope to see lower rates dead ahead. I sure hope so. But I thought it was an interesting employment report today, and I think we're going to get decent news on the CPI front. I would be shocked if we got significantly worse than expected.
So if we have interest rates come down much more, it's going to create quite a stir in the real estate market. So if we get anywhere down close to 6,
we got very close to where it was going to impact the real estate market, very close, but it didn't quite get to where we needed to be, and it didn't stay down is the problem.
Yeah, right.
But I think on the next swoop down, we'll see, but we'll see. But on the next swoop down, I think it's going to be much more tangible. I think it's going to be more lasting, and I think we're going to see interest rates getting below 6%, or at least in that 6% vicinity.
That should impact real estate in a positive way. I was pulling stats this morning for my new clients, and their house is going to be in the $2.5-3 million price range at some point. Not talking about a listing. We don't even have an agreement to list it. But I was looking at that data for them, and it was interesting because I was thinking that in that price range, there'd be a lot more cash. And I think where I'm seeing most of the cash is under 1.5 million. There's a significant number of transactions closing that are not financed, that are cash and below 1.5. But over, I want to say 90 something percent, 95 or more percent were financed in some fashion.
Right. Well, that's a big number, actually. Yeah.
For the bigger price ranges. So those, must be people with the big jobs that, good incomes that are snapping those up.
That's right.
Whereas some of the other ones in a little lower price range, some people are really actually have cash to just buy them outright. But I thought that was interesting because I just kind of assumed that some of the upper price ranges maybe weren't.
Be cash deals, yeah.
I thought maybe there would be a lot more cash out there, but
yeah,
apparently not.
Apparently not. Not right now. Maybe later.
Maybe later. Who knows?
Well, I'll tell you what. I think we're good for this week.
Okay, I like it.
I think we're good. Thanks, Kat.
Thank you, Dan. That was fun. Thanks for coming on and doing this with me. I appreciate it. And thank you guys for watching. I don't know how many of you are still with me, but thank you. And Facebook, YouTube, thank you guys for tuning in. Dan and I appreciate it. And be sure and shoot us questions as they come up in your life regarding real estate and lending.
Very good. Thanks, Kat.
Oh, hi, Amanda. Amanda just came on.
She watching you on TikTok?
Yay, it's Amanda. You caught us right as we were just about to go off. Oh, she's cute. She says number one cat. Aw, I love you, Amanda. You caught Dan and I just as we were just about. She's like, you need to text me when you all do that. I should text you. I will. I can totally do that. So Amanda and Bitey can tune in when we go live. I love
That's a good idea. Yes, that's a good idea.
All right.
Oh,
well,
gosh.
We're signing off. Kat. It's been a long day for both Dan and I. And thanks for tuning in, Amanda. And we'll talk soon, as you know. And Dan, thanks a lot. We'll see you later, Dan.
All righty, Kat. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye, guys. Oh, night.